Good morning guys, how are we all doing? So I'm Dan from Trading with Dan and this is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button and we shall go straight over to those Bitcoin 4-hour charts. So this is where we left the market off yesterday morning, basically approaching this, well, I think we may have just been through it but not closed the candle above this resistance downward sloping trend line. And then yeah, we were saying this was an inflection point, break above here, then yeah, try and test into this resistance zone and then things could be looking good. But obviously the resistance, the downward sloping trend line, the resistance, well, we nearly touched it, but yeah, we basically got rejected and there we have it. Actually came down, took out our most recent lows, which did see a bit of acceleration lower. So if you see this actual previous low, the previous low was well 53,000, absolutely bang on, and then we got down to a low this time of 51,500. So yeah, we did get a bit of acceleration below that, fully into this, well, into and below this next support zone, but we are as expected having a little bit of a bounce here, a bit of an anemic bounce, some tentative support here, but obviously that could turn into a reversal, but we'll just have to see how it plays out. We can obviously draw potentially draw the downside to this, so maybe we have got a descending broadening wedge. I will just obviously try and get rid of this the thickness of this line. Here we go, put it back to 1 point. Yeah, I mean potential descending broadening wedge that we have going on here, of which we are pretty much at the bottom end of, and also at this support zone. So I mean it's pretty natural for us to, and pretty expected for us to expect support here. It's just a case of, do we get a significant bounce all the way back to the top, and then have a go at breaking through the trend line, basically, at breaking through the top downward sloping trend line of what is potentially a descending broadening wedge, potentially. Either way, whatever we want to call it or look at it, we've obviously got this level of potential support and this level of potential resistance. So yeah, that they are obviously the non-horizontal levels. Horizontal level wise, we've obviously got this level we're at now, then we've got 49.5 and then 46k. So these are going to be the levels that are going to be in play if we basically lose this support level, which, I mean, we hit it with quite a lot of force. Put it that way. So this move does have momentum. So you can't say it's got a not a very good chance of breaking through here, because it has got a relatively good chance of breaking this level and coming lower. But hey, we shall have to see how it plays out. But yeah, I mean, and again this morning it seems like the market's at an inflection point again. We're at basically this support. So do we lose it and then come lower, or do we hold it and then try and make a move up to the upside? So I mean, we can pretty much say 55k now. Getting above 55k could then start to look like a reversal, because we'll be well back above this horizontal and also above this downward sloping resistance, and then obviously getting back up to 50k and onwards will pretty much indicate we are just going to carry on our uptrend. But yeah, that obviously isn't necessarily how it's going to play out. We'll just extend this along actually whilst we're here. We've got this potential level to be aiming for. So yeah, really got to see how it goes. Over to our friend who is in trouble, the good old Ethereum. But yeah, as you can see, we did actually come down and test the bottom side of this, of the major level that we've got in, the major level that we've been talking about, to the downside. Yeah, pretty much tested that and had a pretty significant bounce off that. So that is good to see. That's hopefully done, one and done. Tested it, now we can leave and go back to the top and break above. We can only hope. But what I will say though, if we do get back above this horizontal here, I mean that will start to look it will start to look good for basically as at least getting some bullish action in this. Well, at least up to back to the 0.033 level, and then just decide how we want to enter out of that level. But yeah, getting back above this horizontal could start to make this look a bit like a relatively strong low, and then yeah, we can try and make some moves to the upside. Hopefully. Obviously, we do know Ethereum's got problems, delays, problems. I mean, yeah, we all know they're well documented. The problems we've got with the gas fees and the optimism and the and the ETH 2.0 and all that jazz. But yeah, that's clearly getting reflected in this move down here after the initial optimism, which basically some of the main devs or dev were saying that instead of like the test net we could get in March, we could basically get the actual final thing in March, and then it looks like now we're not even going to get a test net, let alone the final thing in March. So obviously, I mean, it looked like the market realised that round about here, and then decided to sell off. So obviously, I do think Ethereum does have a bright future, but yeah, it's just under a bit of pressure here. But like I said, we're at an important level here. Bounced off it. Okay, relatively okay at the moment. So if we can get above this level, start to move back up, we can maybe start to look good again. Bitcoin dominance. I need to stop clicking on it. It's kind of like a habit, isn't it? 10-year just sitting up there. S&P looking like it's in a descending wedge of its own here, so that could potentially break to the upside. Nasdaq looking weak though here. Nasdaq is not looking too good, and remember these could basically have a drag on markets. A bit of a pennant here in gold. We will draw it in, seeing as it looks pretty obvious there. So we are awaiting a break of this, yeah, and then deciding which direction this wants to go in. So yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't really have a bias on this because literally you can even see this downward sloping trend line we practically got there. We could easily break down and come back, continue this downtrend, or we could break up and move up. I mean, literally, I can't look at this and basically say what I would expect to happen other than like my fundamental bias. I think we will come up, but yeah, I can't really call that. Here we go with the dollar. The dollar making moves now, so it is basically it's going to start to worry markets. This will we are getting into this zone, into this well, very important zone, seeing as we actually got the strength to get into it. Have we got the strength to get through it onwards and upwards and basically cause a lot of problems? Or are we going to get rejected at some point in the zone? I mean, we've got the levels to look at, but realistically, I'll just be looking at this as a whole big zone. We can pretty much call it, just for the sake of ease, 92.5 to pretty much 94, we call it. I mean, to be on the, yeah, that's basically somewhere in that zone. The dollar needs to get rejected and continue down, otherwise we are going to have problems. But do I think that will happen? Rejection in that zone. I mean, this is what I mean. I mean, getting rejected underneath at the lowest underneath, basically in the low 92s, would obviously would look good then for a move down. But once we get into this zone, it becomes less clear to me whether we are likely to get rejected and continue down, or whether we're likely to get through and continue upside. If we've got the strength to get into the zone, I therefore I then don't particularly have any strong conviction to basically decide whether the dollar will break up or break below, other than obviously my normal fundamental views that basically we're going to get yield curve control and they are basically going to tank the dollar. But hey, that's gotta happen first, hasn't it? And like I said, in markets before the Fed really goes crazy, something's pretty much got to break. or go wild, and that obviously could be this basically having a very big move to the upside. Stocks getting whacked, the 10-year going up, and then the Fed deciding to do something pretty extreme, and then we could then get the move down. But as it stands, it's not done that, and it seems like the market is just gonna, all these markets, the dollar, the 10-year, potentially even stock markets, are going to try and force the Fed's hand, because that's basically what they always do. And the Fed has paper thin, weak hands, and they will literally turn on a dime and just do whatever basically the market demands. Yeah, back to Bitcoin. As you can see, we spoke about what we are looking at here. I mean, yeah, getting above, I mean, we could call it getting above, say, 53 would then potentially look good for a move up to 55. Getting and hold, closing the 4 hour above 53. I mean, or taking out this, yeah, 53 point spot, 53,200, sorry, yeah, 53,200. Yeah, that will probably see us have basically a move up to about 55k. And then, yeah, I mean, that would be where my my guidance, my crystal ball prediction would leave off, and then we'll just have to see whether we break through it, whether we get rejected again, and much the same as we had to see here. But yeah, I do think if we do get up to 55k though, I would actually probably have a slight bias towards breaking it and continuing to the upside, in all fairness. But obviously we've got 2.5k to go to get there, and we are clearly a lot closer to basically closing candles below this level and then just playing out more downside basically. So yeah, let's have a look at the stochastics. How are they looking? For our 4 hours still coming down. They're still going to be putting short-term pressure on price action. A 10 hour, it's got to turn back over, hasn't it? Yeah, as you can see, turn back over, but it's sitting at a very low zone. Not going to take too much to turn this back up and then start to get some momentum. But yeah, at the moment, still pointing down, still down there. 12 hour diving. Now the 12 hour is getting deep. So if the 12 hour can eventually turn back over along with the 10 hour from a low level, that could be the point that we do get a nice move to the upside. But that hasn't happened yet, and obviously, like I'm saying, we can obviously lose this level, and then we can basically continue lower in those stochastics, and then turn back up with price action under 50k, for example, or even at 46k. But yeah, just note this 12 hour 9 as well, 12 hour 9 here. So yeah, 12 hour 9 at support. I mean, it would look pretty nice and normal to see a move back up, even if it's a slow drift move up over 1 to 4 candles back up to 55k, and then yeah, like I said, decide whether we're going to break that or not. Daily stochastics also, as we can see, still diving, but these are coming pretty deep. So at some point in a few days, maybe these can bottom out and start to turn back up, and then we could have a good chance of a move up. Obviously 2, 3 day, 5 day, none of them looking particularly great. But yeah, I mean, between well, 2 or 3 days in crypto is in Bitcoin crypto is a lifetime, and we could very easily see a dive down sub 50k, maybe even to 46k within those few days. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I'm just saying this could happen, in which case we would then fully extend these 10 12 hour daily stochastics. They would look to turn back up from a very low level, and then could it give us the momentum for a very nice bounce. And a very nice bounce from 46k could very easily be only where we are now. A very nice bounce from 50k could be 55k. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we are looking at. Are we just playing within? Are we just playing a sideways range? Potentially. So that is it, guys. Remember, this is not a financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I shall speak to you guys soon.